Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monique Macrin. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video and I hope that you're going to love it here. I am a wellness, pregnancy and postpartum coach, very passionate about women's health, anything pregnancy, breastfeeding, childcare related. I am so passionate about this area. Now, as you can see from the title of today's video, we are talking about the advantages of breastfeeding. Now, let me put a disclaimer out there. I am not here to endorse breastfeeding, neither am I here to endorse formula feeding, right? I'm just here to give you information, like legit information that you can use to make an informed choice, which is best for you as a mom and your child. So let's get right into the video with the first advantage, and that is breast milk has antibodies. Now, these antibodies are gotten from the mom's body. You know, the mom has lived through life. She has gotten diseases, formed resistance, formed immunity against such like diseases, and those antibodies are passed into the baby and they really help in building the baby's immunity. This is something that lacks in formula milk. The second thing is a mom's milk has probiotics. Yes, and probiotics are very important in gut health and also in helping with the maturation of the digestive system. Now, probiotic imbalance of the gut bacteria has been linked to issues like ulcers in children, the rising cases of H. pylori, even eczema. So we cannot really argue on the benefits of probiotics. I know you're asking yourself probably, where does these probiotics come from? They come from the food that a mother eats. For example, if you eat if they take fermented milk, fermented porridge, they take probiotics orally, and also from the skin of the mother, you see, through sweat. So when the child is attaching to the nipple, they touch a little bit of the mother's sweat. Yeah, and then that, just sorry for that distraction. So yes, so when the child attaches to the mother's nipple, they get in touch with the sweat, and this sweat most of the times contains some bacteria which are really helpful in improving their gut health, and this is something that is not found in formula milk. Another advantage of breastfeeding, and this one applies to the mother, is that it helps with the uterine contraction. Now, the contraction of the uterus usually takes place due to some hormones in the body, right? And once you hold your baby to breastfeed them, a lot of moms complain of cramps, a little bit of stomach pains, and that is because the uterus usually starts contracting the moment you start breastfeeding your child. Because once you start breastfeeding your child, signals are sent to your brain releasing some hormones that are responsible for the contraction of the uterus. Now, you could be wondering, why is it important for my uterus to contract, right? So failure of the uterus to contract as expected could lead to postpartum bleeding, which can be really risky. Another reason is because definitely the uterus expanded to be able to accommodate this child, and that led to the contributed to the increase of the size of the belly. Now, with contraction, adequate contraction, and also in the rate that is expected, helps to reduce your tummy. Okay, so that's another advantage of breastfeeding, and it's not gotten when someone is formula. Okay, at the end of the day, the uterus will contract, but the rate at which it contracts varies from women to women, and breastfeeding really helps. Okay, another advantage of breastfeeding is the cultivation of a bond between the child and the mother. Now, we talked about a lot of communication that happens when the mom holds the child. For example, when they're breastfeeding, there's that signal sent to the brain to release milk and also to contract the uterus. There's also the eye contact between the child and the mom. The child is looking at the mother is looking at the child. You get, so there's a lot of telepathy like communication, there's exchange of chemical interaction, and that really helps with bonding. And also it's an avenue for mothers to spend time together with their children. Now, this can also be realized when someone is formula feeding, but differently. Another advantage of breastfeeding is that you significantly reduce the chances of your child developing lifestyle diseases such as type 2 diabetes. Now, I discussed a disadvantage of formula feeding, which was a lot of formula milk has a lot of protein content. Now, and also there's the risk of overfeeding the baby when it comes to formula milk. Now, when this happens, it increases the chances of a child being obese later in life or developing type 2 diabetes. This is significantly reduced if the child is breastfed. Why? Because the mother's milk has been designed to give the exact amount of nutrients that this child needs. So it is very unlikely that they are going to get an overdose of the nutrition. However, this does not apply to mothers who overfeed, does not apply to mothers who eat a lot of junk food, because at the end of it does not apply to mothers who smoke and also who take alcohol during breastfeeding, because at the end of the day, what you eat, what you put into your body is what your baby is going to get. Okay, so let's go to the last advantage that I'm going to tackle in this particular video, and that is breastfeeding is cheap. It is inexpensive. It does not require any money because you don't need to be on a special diet for you to breastfeed. And nowadays we are telling mothers you don't need to eat for two. That means you can basically eat the things you've been eating in the house and you're still going to have adequate milk. Okay, so for formula, you have to dig deeper into your pocket and add an expense in your household that was not there before. So that's it for this particular video. I hope now you know some of the benefits of breastfeeding, and those are the main reasons why you'll see pediatricians and healthcare providers advocating for breast milk. Now, before I finish this video, I want to encourage any mother who for whatever reason has to rely on formula feeding. We do what we can, and I believe for every mother we take a decision that is best for the child. So if for whatever reason your child has to feed on formula milk, please know that a lot of children who have been formula fed have turned out just okay. And if you're doing what is best for your child, then you will leave the rest to God. Until next time, until the next video, which is going to be later in the day, I love you. Bye.